above where Expand Energy is now. Nick Dell'Osso is the CEO and joins us now for Power Play. Nick, thank you for coming on set. We do appreciate it.
Thanks for having us, Brian.
Okay, the hardest words in TV are I was wrong. And I said erroneously the other day that there are no natural gas plants under construction. There are, they just won't open this year. We talk about all this demand that's coming for AI, this demand for natural gas, much of it's yours, to sell to Europe. But I'm looking at a natural gas price that's just over $3. How do you see supply and demand in coming years?
We're really excited about the supply-demand growth for natural gas in coming years. We've never really had quite the visibility into demand growth that we have today. We see demand growing about 20 BCF a day between now and the end of the decade. That's comprised of LNG, it's comprised of power gen, which is a function of data centers and AI, and it's also industrial demand. It's really exciting to think about all of that and how they interplay with each other, and then to think about our portfolio being spread across Appalachian Basin through Louisiana and how uniquely positioned we are to serve all of those growing markets.
We talk a lot about pipelines as well. You could use, they're very helpful in getting your gas to where they need to go. They're hard to get built. Can you get all of your gas to market efficiently and effectively and price competitively right now?
You know, we can. We have an investment in a pipe called NG3 in Louisiana. That pipe is coming online right now. This is a really important piece of infrastructure and really exciting for us as a company. It's going to deliver our supply in the Haynesville directly to the jumping off point for LNG at a place called Gillis in South Louisiana. This kind of control of access of our supply directly to a growth market is really valuable to us and puts our supply right where customers need it in South Louisiana. And we can continue to meet customers' needs with the growing supply we have.
What is NG3 going to mean for revenue, for earnings?
It means that we can better deliver our product where it's needed to the customers in South Louisiana. So over time, we expect that prices in South Louisiana will continue to rise. They'll rise relative to the rest of the market because that's where the demand growth is.
You have a huge portfolio up in upstate Pennsylvania as well, sort of lower New York State. Where does that gas go? You went to Boston College. Why is Boston? By the way, home of our former guest, Emily Watson-Rowland, who was just on. Why is that gas still being shipped in from Trinidad on a ship versus piped in from you guys 300 miles away?
That's a great question. And we really are supportive of all the new demand growth pipeline projects that could feed New England. There is some talk of some new pipelines being built into New England out of the Marcellus play. There needs to be a lot more, though. This is the most logical solution for what is an energy short market throughout New England. When we think about all the AI demand growth that's happening, and you hear about it in Pennsylvania, you hear about it in Ohio, you hear about it in West Texas and in Louisiana, you don't hear about it in Massachusetts. We could hear about a lot more of it in places like that if we had more supply that was delivered to those markets.
Well, they don't have enough trash and trees to burn to power the data centers. Pardon my snark on that one. You get my point. So as a CEO of the largest natural gas producer in North America, you're in your office, you're watching CNBC, you see Sam Altman come on with Jensen Huang or AMD, and they're talking about 5 gigawatts here, 10 gigawatts of data center demand here, another 5 over here. What are you thinking? Because that largely says, if I was you, I'd be thinking they're talking about me effectively, meaning Expand Energy.
Yeah, that's right. They are. When you think about all of that power gen growth that has to happen, natural gas is going to be the most important fuel source for that growth. We think between now and the end of the decade, that's about 4 to 5 BCF a day of the 20 BCF a day growth of the total market. And so it's a really important driver. You can get there by increasing the utilization of existing power plants. You can get there by building new power plants, which will happen. Those will come online more towards the end of the decade.
Those are happening, apparently. Yes, they are happening. Not right now, though.
Yeah, more towards the end of the decade. But existing power plants will see their utilization go up as well. And that does happen right now.
So when does the demand... Should investors expect a demand pop or just kind of a slow, I guess for lack of a better term, burn higher over the next number of years?
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of both. The biggest step changes are going to come from the LNG facilities because, again, the LNG capacity growth is about 3 times the power gen growth story. So when you think about 4 to 5 BCF a day growth in power gen, again, you're about 14 to 15 BCF a day growth in LNG capacity. So when those facilities come online, which are often 2 or 3 BCF a day facilities,
billion cubic feet
in one facility, that represents a step change in demand.
So when we see a natural gas exporter, a Venture Global, a Cheniere, a Commonwealth, they're all over the place, and they're growing. Exxon's got one coming up in your hometown, south of Houston. Is that going to add, does that incrementally add to Expand Energy's gas demand? Because everybody's kind of competing to put their gas on that ship, but it's a lot of gas.
It is a lot of gas. And while there is competition to get gas to those markets, we are really well positioned. We are the largest producer in the Haynesville. You'll see a lot of gas come out of the Permian and out of the Haynesville as your two primary growth areas to feed all of this LNG export capacity. And so everything that's in Louisiana is going to be mostly met out of the Haynesville, which most of these projects are in Louisiana. There's some in the South Texas coast as well. We're really excited about what that means to us. And we have the infrastructure and the diversity of transportation to get there to feed several of these facilities.
Because you said